The Skywalker saga comes to an end in the last chapter of this Star Wars series. This week, the entire Star Wars library comes to 4K, and we'll be taking a look at all of them. Up first for review is Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Before we begin, if this is your first time here, I go over 4K content and let you know my opinion on it and if I think it's worth the pickup. We do videos here every single week, so if that's something that interests you, be sure and check out the channel and consider subscribing. Now let's get into the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This week is going to be full out Star Wars content as all the movies come to 4K for the first time. Since I already own some of the movies on 4K, I decided not to get the full box set and just get the individual releases instead, so I'll be going over them like that. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I know that the latest movies have really divided the fan base with opinions going from one extreme to the other, but I have to say that I really liked this movie and I thought it was a decent wrap up to the Skywalker saga. I really had few complaints about it and was pretty pleased with the way it all ended. A lot of people were not happy with the previous film's transfer to 4K, but I really didn't have many issues with it. I've certainly seen better, but I didn't think it was as bad as everyone was saying it was. This disc I thought was really nice looking, although I don't think it was reference material. It had a nice clean look throughout with lots of detail. I also thought the CGI was very nicely done and not as soft looking as it can sometimes look on 4K. I thought the film overall was not that colorful, though a few scenes had some nice pops here and there, and the highlights used during some of the battle scenes were really bright. I was squinting a little whenever the Emperor used his powers. I will say that I think my favorite part of the movie was the fight between Rey and Kylo on the remains of the second Death Star. In both audio and visual terms, it was just really great. For video, I'll give this one an 8.5. I do think thus far it's the best looking Star Wars film on 4K, but keep in mind I have not watched the others yet and I have very high expectations for Rogue One. I did have mixed thoughts on this audio transfer because I did have to turn it up a little, as most Disney releases suffer from the app mouse sound. I thought this had a really good mix when I saw it in theaters, but I don't think it really transferred over that well. I will say that the fight scene on the second Death Star was by far the most impressive of the entire film. They really did a great job on this particular scene, and you could hear the waves crashing all around you as well as the lightsaber sounds. This scene really rocked my speakers and I actually had to turn it down a little. For audio quality, I'll give this one an 8. I really loved some of the scenes and how they sounded, but overall it was pretty uneven in terms of quality, so I really can't rate it any higher. Every major outlet has their own cover for this release, and most of the time I only like a few options, but for this disc I really love all of them. Starting with the standard release, I do love the look of this one. They used the IMAX poster for the cover, which I think looks really cool, and the back artwork was really nice as well. Best Buy has their own steelbook, which uses some of the art from the fight between Rey and Kylo, and I love how this looks. This is the one I got, and it's a really nice quality steelbook with a great glossy finish. Target has a digibook release, and while I'm not a fan of those in general, I absolutely love the artwork used on this one as it mirrors the original Star Wars poster. I love the retro look to it. Walmart usually disappoints me with their exclusives, but this time I really like what they're offering. I'm really eager to see what this one looks like in store, and I do like the minimal kind of artwork that was used on it. Now, as a huge Star Wars fan, this release is obviously one I would pick up regardless. I really do recommend this disc as it does look pretty good and it does look nicer than the digital stream or the Blu-ray. I think if you can pick this one up, you definitely should. I'm going to be reviewing the other Star Wars 4K releases provided they come in on time. On top of all this coronavirus issues, we also had a pretty devastating tornado rip through town and cause a lot of damage. Now thankfully there were no major injuries, but it's put a big strain on the community, so some of the mail may be delayed. Hopefully this review has helped your decision a little, and be sure and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, be sure and give it a big thumbs up, and as always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe everybody.